Some 20 years ago, I wrote a book called Trojan Horses and Secret Space Breaking India and Break India. But even now, the people are unaware of the defects unaware of the disturbing factors of the Abrahamic invasion, invisible invasion through the medias and through all kind of mind manipulating methods. They principally use Twitter, Facebook, and all kind of medias to subvert and break India into pieces. They are doing this very silently from long ago. Only that reflects what? That is very easy conclusion. You can just understand if you read history that all kinds of war that opposed Dharmic people against Adharmic and Abrahamic people are now going on in terms of mind manipulation, media on the media fields. Battlefields were replaced by media fields. That's all. All this kind of mentality have never been, never gone, and they are still alive. And this should be kept in our mind. As Hindus, we should not forget that Abrahamic mindset is never gone. It is still alive. It is going in a very big way, not diminishing itself from the way they used to be in the past 1,000 years. They are they invaded us and did many atrocities in our country, but they are still alive and doing all kind of nonsense and all kind of bad things on us. And this is very clear when you see what is going on in our country. One point I wanted to stress here, just for the reason I am doing this video, is that the Abraham mindset is establishing an ecosystem, and as I said in another video, they are that Abraham mindset in the Western country is in sync with their social structure, whereas Indian heritage of philosophy is not in sync with our social organization structure, because we are simply keeping our philosophy alive inside our four walls, but socially we have preferred to import the Western society model, so social model for our organization of our society, forgetting what was 1,000 years before. From since a very long time, we had been habituated to, accustomed to. We have been very deeply connected to a system based on gunas, with what we feel as ourselves in Swadharmic way, Swadharma, forming a core of ourself, reflecting in a core manner our personality. That should be in equal harmony, in equation to what we do in our professional world. That is equating our inner competence, inner appetence, inner quality, inner intrinsic competence, intrinsic value we have, qualities we have, that should be in sync with the professional world. And that is not, that is our way of Varna Shastra, Varnashrama, where what the gunas express for a man, he should seek a job that can allow him to reflect his own swadharma, not do a job which is in contradiction to his core existential quality that defines him is in inner qualities, inner being that is transferred from the vasanas from the previous births, and this man inherits that qualities which defines him, his core personality, and that should be in sync with the profession he is doing. That is our guna theory. But three guna, sattva, rajas, and tamas. But what is happening here in India is simply we are building a society of 10% of greed people who are making others foolish slaves, IT industry slaves, and other industries are working as slave people to some few 10% of rich people, and others are there at their feet. This is a model from the Western model where I am unfortunately living in France and seeing this thing being copied by Indians. I am just alerting and warning the consequences of this, because we know here in the West we are very in a very crucial moment where the the repercussions, the consequences of this kind of greed world imposed by 10% on the 90% is repercussions are being felt very deeply in our society, and people are suffering from these repercussions here in the West, in France, where I am living. So I want to tell the people in India, we should not copy whatever the West does, because we will finish by having the same suffering from as the Western people are facing now. We are having a very huge amount of unemployment here in France. 3 million, 4 million, I don't know. Some years ago, I heard of a 3 million jobless for a 60 million people, and other miserable, their living conditions are so miserable for other 10 millions. Even a quarter of the people, population of France are living under in a very fragile condition. More than 40% are not having a job to do in their fields they used to work, because of outsourcing and delocalizing. They say delocaliser in France. Donc we are just we should not copy this kind of mentality. And what I want to say is this Abrahamic mindset, the greed-based mindset is seen in their way of living. They live simply egoistically, so in a solitary way, with minimum people composing their family, as much as one wife, one husband, one child, and even now sometimes one woman, sole woman, without husband, without children, living sometimes getting meeting some beating her boyfriend time and time again, just from time to time, and then continuing her solitary life. This kind of life is associated with this greed-based Abrahamic mindset, and that is coming to India because it's a network, it's an ecosystem. If you take this Abrahamic mindset, you will get as gifts all these accessory gifts. You will get all these kind of things. That's you will get also with the Western model. Family, nuclear family, composed of less and less people. So it's the first consequence. Second, you will get all people, 80% will be working as slaves, and people will be disconnected from each other, living in a solitary bubble. So bubbles will be going in the air, like people are covered with a bubble, and will be living in a bubble. They will not be connected with each other, and that bubble is not like a true bubble. It is a very coated kind of bubble that will never get opened up, will never get hollow, to be able to connect with the others. Imagine each people having a bubble of something that can be broken, and they are inside that thing. So what I want to say is, if you want to copy the Western world, you will always you also get these perks, this kind of accessory gifts as unnecessary things. I tell family will be in a very dire situation. Children will be in a dire situation because they will not be with their mother, not with their father. They will be always facing very conflictual relationship with each other. Mother, father fighting each other eternally, and children sacrifice because of all the stress they they face in the Western world. They will never get true happiness, and this will be reflecting upon their children. All kind of things will happen also in India if you copy this model in France. Uh, and only not only this one, we will get also the same kind of industrial medical system based on a very quick rotation of patients from the going one considering them as some kind of robots to be overhauled by some kind of machines and then ejected outside. No, there is nothing like a human world. It is a robotic world where people are considered as an element of a grand mechanism, where the grand machine is functioning with a brouhaha, with a noise, and crushing the people with a mighty hand. This is not our way of thinking. No, we are living our life. So, to make a long story short, we are heading for very nasty things going to happen in our system, in our society, if we copy the Western world, which is based on greed and fear. So, Abrahamic mindset will come here in the society, as we learn to copy them perfectly, as we learn to import the model perfectly. We will also be expressing somewhere in a kind of egoistic mentality, and this mentality will permeate each and every corner of our thinking process, and will pollute and come up and pollute also our heritage of dharmic values. So this is one fear of this one threat to our culture, and even small things as respect to old people, that will not exist. Respect of a wife to her husband, that will pati dharma, that will disappear. Old people's respect, nobody will respect. The children will be arrogant and will treat the old person with white hair and white beard. They will never respect them. So that's what happening in the Western world. They see a old man, they will push him down without knowing what they will one day also become an old man and will be crushed by others, because they don't have the ability to put themselves in others' shoes, others' places. Though that's why they are behaving like this, and with a binary, dualistic mindset. That is, me, you are different from me, we are different from you, and this kind of dualistic and separation is always happening from their mindset. So you will face family problems, wife, children, no respect from society. You will be thrown away. Living in an individualistic manner, you will be a consumer, a ready-made consumer for big industries. You will live in an anonymous way in a very grand urban setting, and a lonely life without joy, and losing all relationship and network of people that you had to enjoyed before, and all will be forbidden, all will be refused, all will be rejected for you, will be refused for you. All these doors will be closed for you. You will not be able to re-enter to those through those doors, because you will not go back and searching for that pleasure of the past. You know that we used to live very happily. Men used to live very happily. Men, Indian men, were very fortunate at that time. 20 to 50 years ago, they used to have wives that loved them, children that loved them, elderly people were respected. They used to have a life of wonderful life. Men, now men are will be not be respected by women. The children will not respect men, and people, other people in the society will not respect each other. That is going to happen in India.